Adab, you're watching Awaz-The Voice and I'm Amina Majid. Today we have with us our colleague from Kashmir, Nazir Ganaie, who won e4M award for excellence in journalism. Congratulations.
बहुत शुक्रिया.
Sir, I want to know how was your experience of receiving this prestigious award?
किसी को भी अगर अवार्ड की उस लेवल पे लाए कि उसको अवार्ड मिले, I think it's an honor. And for me, working from Kashmir and having this award means a lot. And I think for this I would like to thank my entire team at Awaz-The Voice, and also my own colleagues who have been always pushing me and who have been always mentoring me to go ahead with certain kind of stories. And thanks to all of them, and thanks to the family support, thanks to all my friends in the media fraternity who have been encouraging all this a while. And this award is a dedication to all of them.
Now let us show the viewers the speech you gave.
The times have changed. People have brought out some beautiful stories, and Kashmir is not just about deaths and destruction. There are some good stories also, and I think I must thank my editors, my entire team, who believed in me and who thought that I can bring out such stories. And I would especially like to thank Awaz-The Voice, who have pushed me to a different level and asked me to do stories from the length and breadth of the Kashmir region, and also Kashmir Observer, who put me into different perspectives, and also we explored digital, print, as well as some other beats in the organization. I would like to thank all your team for giving me this opportunity. Thank you so much.
Sir, I want to know which of your stories were considered for this nomination.
This nomination, when this was asked, there were many stories that I had submitted, at least 5 stories. And there was a story that I had done almost in 2014 earlier. And that was a story about missing mothers. And then there was a story about this stone pelters being produced in the court, handcuffed. And also my prime focus in journalism has always been to cover non-political beats like art and culture, health, environment, and human rights. So there were stories from each one of these beats, and I was fortunate enough to have a conversation with the grand jury, and I got a feedback that some of the stories were really nice and considered for the award. And then a discussion also happened simultaneously why such stories were important and what was the attitude, approach towards exploring these kind of stories. So Awaz-The Voice, when I started working with Awaz-The Voice also, one thing which I really liked about the organization is they have been always asking us to do people-centric stories, people-centric journalism. If you look at my list of stories for the Awaz-The Voice, you'll find journalists, you'll find administrators, IAS officers, filmmakers being interviewed. But at the same time, the core idea is to tell the story of public, to tell the story of people. What are their issues? What are their grievances? What are their concerns? What is their opinion about overall developmental scenario or the kind of situation they are witnessing? So that has been always the focus, and I think Awaz-The Voice has been a brilliant platform on that front, that they encouraged and they never said no to any story ideas or story pitch that went to them, and we have always got the support from them.
So I want to know what kind of stories you like doing.
See, I told you, besides being a journalist, I'm a passionate artist. I play an instrument called rabab. I sing sometimes, and I'm mostly into documentary filmmaking. So I work on story ideas. If I look at a story into newspaper, I try to see how it can be explored and how it can be approached with a documentary style. So I really love to go into stories which are human-based, human interest stories, and which have a larger, impact. So one story that I'm really right now working on is, Kashmir's leper patients. All these leper patients who have been living in a secluded place in Kashmir are now free from that disease. But there is no, acceptance of these patients in their families. It's a gone story. It's a story done to death. But the point is, there are certain, approach. There are some human elements that can be explored. So I'm working on that story right now. And then there are a few stories that I have been assigned by the editor Awaz-The Voice, which is like, working on the folk scenario of Kashmir, folk music, and also try to explore and, document the folk genres of Kashmir.
So how does it feel to report in today's Kashmir?
For a journalist, it has been always a challenging job. Working in Kashmir is working like, working on the edge. You always have, these problems. You always have challenges that you have to face. But for a larger, perspective, for a larger, acceptance, journalists have been trying to tell their stories, but at the same time, there is always one way or the other way. You are being either watched, you are being either read by people who matter in the administration or in the police circles. But that doesn't deter us from telling our stories. And some of the stories that we did, they were really taken cognizance of, and issues were resolved. So that's one thing that we really love about our work.
So talking about Kashmir especially, what positive changes have you observed in people's mindset, especially about Kashmir?
I think it's very important to come out of that negative zone. When you are focusing and telling stories from the negative perspective, you actually bring negativity to people. At Awaz-The Voice, the core idea is to bring stories which bring harmony, which bring peace, and which bring inclusivity. So I think there are many stories around that are actually yet to be told. And we have seen in Kashmir different generations having different perspectives of life. Post 1989, people were so sour, people were so indifferent towards each other because large migration had happened, and Kashmiri Pandits had fled the place, and some of them say why they were forced to leave their homeland. But at the same time, Muslims also carried their narrative. They left and we somehow stayed back, and we were also killed. We were also affected. This discourse continued for years, and it still continues. But in this, you still have stories to narrate. You still have some inclusive stories. You still have a Kashmiri Pandit living in a Muslim house, and he getting, they don't have any differences. You still have stories like Kashmiri Muslim somewhere out of his homeland living with his Kashmiri Pandit friend. So these stories continue, and these stories are being told everywhere.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much.
We are happy and proud. And once again, I congratulate you.
And thank you so much, the entire team of Awaz-The Voice, and thank you e4M and the organizers, the award organizers, the grand jury for selecting me for this award. And these awards definitely give us, a reason to do our work in a best way and bring some of the positive stories, some of the stories that are actually needed to be told to the larger public. And I think we'll continue to do our best from Kashmir.
All the best, sir.
Thank you so much, sir.